Mage Tower challenge is back in Dragonflight Patch 10.05. And I thought I will very quickly check in with my crowd and talk to you a little bit about what has changed and if my tactics, the one that got me this lovely form in patch 9.2.7, like about 8 months ago, if it still works or if anything has changed, anything that you need to pay particular attention to. So let's jump straight into this without any further ado, and I will also make a reference to another build from another creator that seems to be performing quite well right now. Let's get started. So, first of all and first and foremost, what has changed and what definitely has changed in the meantime are our talents. So we have had obviously Dragonflight release, and that has changed a lot of things for our characters. So our talent systems have changed for Guardian Druid. So let's take a very quick look at what I'm running with over here. So this is my build. You will see my current build in the description of this video, even though I have not beaten the tower again just yet in Dragonflight, but I have gone far enough into the challenge, having beaten very nicely Varys and almost beaten Cruel down, but I can tell you that I have not yet once again polished all my reflexes and gotten back to that fit state, so to speak, to get the challenge down. Neither am I planning to keep pushing until I do. I already have this form very nicely, as you can see, and I have no reason to spend more time on trying to perfect the Guardian Druid challenge just to make some sort of a weird point over here. I've seen enough in this, and you're seeing enough, I suppose, in the footage below, behind kind of this narrative, this commentary, that should give you a feeling that these tactics still works. And I will very nicely redirect you back to that original video that I've posted on getting this form after more than 500 attempts using the pet-based trinkets that still work from the patch 9.2.7. It still works. So what has specifically changed? Talent system. In talent system, I think that quite a big if you're following my approach rather than the one from my friend there for Korn, who I'm going to make a reference to in a second, I am relying on feral talents. I'm going purely with feral build in this particular case. I'm not, of course, I will take any additional damage that I can take from the arcane damage, such as Moonfire and such as the procs from the gloves that I will show you in a second, but I am going to rely on Thrash, and I'm going to rely on the talents like Ursoc's Fury. Talent like Ursoc's Fury is going to simulate almost an action that we have seen from the legendaries in Shadowlands. As you know that in Shadowlands, when we were earning this form in 9.2.7, I could not use any legendaries, so I did not have this effect of Ursoc's Fury, which was a shame. But in this case, you get this extra damage mitigation abilities, which is fantastic. I'm also sort of preferring Rend and Tear talent, even though I think both of these talents, Rend and Tear and Untamed Savagery, are fantastic, because Untamed Savagery massively increases the damage and radius of your Thrash, which is awesome. It cannot be overlooked, and you might want to play with both of these selections. But I think at the moment I'm inclined to stick with Rend and Tear, which is going to, for each stack of Thrash, which you can have 3 of, you're going to reduce the target's damage to you by 6%, and you're going to increase damage to them by 6%. So that is not bad. That is honestly not bad. Problem that I'm observing right now, and please let me know in the comments down below if you see the same, but what I've seen already on a couple of attempts with either of these two talents, for some reason, upon entering the tower, I cannot use Thrash at all. So basically, the talent is there, abilities learned, not like I have unlearned the ability or something weird has happened there as the system downscaled us to 50, but the button is just not pressable. And as you know, if you watched my other videos, I use sometimes some macros, I don't know, mouse over macros, other kind of stuff, but not for Thrash. Thrash is not macro. Thrash is just a direct link to just a standard button to the ability, and for some reason I just cannot press it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's intermittent without changing the build. So that is one thing that I'd like to let you know. If you start getting frustrated and you think that your Thrash doesn't work for some reason, first of all, let me know so that I know it's not just me. And second of all, it looks like it's some sort of a bug/defect that Blizzard needs to change. Everything else, as always, I'm going for as passive increase of my self-healing and as passive increase to my damage without having any extra buttons to press. That's what I do. Now over here, so just more for your awareness in terms of what else you could try, rather than stick with my again build and my approach that I've described in more detail in that 9.2.7 video. My friend here, Faucon, who I apologize if I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, he's from France, he is very much dedicating his content to Mage Tower. I don't, as you can see. I've enjoyed the challenge, spent enough time with it, don't want to particularly go with it through it again fully, at least on Guardian Druid, but he does spend time there. And what he's doing right now is, you will see, I will link his video in the description, and what he is doing, he's going kind of right hand side here of the tree, and he's taking abilities that are boosting your things like your arcane power. So while in bear form you deal plus 20% of increased arcane damage if you take both points of Fury of Nature, and he takes things like the scintillating moonlight and other kind of things here. I can't remember exactly what he does, but you will see it in his video. So what he's relying on is switching from bear form and working a lot in moonkin form, or at the very least relying on spells a lot. I didn't in my fight. What I do in my fight is very simple. I just basically go ham on Varys and trying to rely as much as possible on summoning of my pets. I am using Manual of Void Calling, which summons the Void Walker and that can attack the target from distance, and it lasts the whole fight. You get this trinket from your garrison in Warlords of Draenor, and you build an inn, and then once Impsy, this little imp, visits you and gives you a quest, you fulfill that very short quest, and it gives you this Manual of Void Calling. I also have tested in the previous instance, kind of when I was doing this, when I was achieving this form, I've gotten Captain Zvezdan's Lost Leg, which is a random drop from a rare Rattleskew on the Timeless Isle in Pandaria. This is a rare drop, however. I found that it does a lot of damage, and I really love this combination of these both trinkets. If you are not very lucky and you cannot get Captain Zvezdan's Lost Leg, I recommend you going again to your garrison in Warlords of Draenor, and this time building a lumber mill. Once you build a lumber mill, you'll be able to see the quest objective essentially in the world as you harvest for lumber, and that quest kind of short chain is going to give you this Barov's Lumberjack Caller that summons lumberjacks. Lumberjacks are just as good as Captain Zvezdan's Lost Leg that summons swashbucklers, but like I already said to you, I found personally that Captain Zvezdan's Lost Leg gave me a little bit higher damage output. Now, what gloves have I mentioned? I mentioned these Handguards of Demon's Bane. Handguards of Demon's Bane is a quest reward that you will only get if you have not yet done this quest, obviously, and if you are Horde. On Alliance, I think you get a different reward, unfortunately. But this is a quest that starts with, if I'm not mistaken, Khadgar in Dalaran, when you are unlocking the whole thing of Broken Shore, the whole thing of the Legion invasion. Handguards, in my last check, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have done as much as 7% or something along those lines of damage. So they do actually a lot more damage than you might think. A little bit of damage will come from the enchantment of Mask of the Hidden Satyr for you, but it's going to be a little. But once you are scraping there for any extra smidgens of damage on Cruel, even 2-3% that this Mask of the Hidden Satyr might do will come really handy, and you'll be very happy that you have it. Everything else is really basic. It's nothing particular. You can just go with your basic Dragonflight gear. So gear is not a particular issue. It's these two trinkets that are going to give you the win. Once again, I highly recommend that you watch my 9.2.7 video, where I spent a lot more time specifically talking about steps. Here I'm just reiterating what still works, what and what to rely on. And I wish you best of luck. What's going to happen to me? Like I said, I love Mage Tower, I like the challenge. We were promised a similar challenge in Dragonflight, but don't know yet what it is. And as far as Mage Tower is concerned, it's likely that I will try some other specs and other possibly tanks, such as Warrior tank, such as Paladin tank, maybe, to try Mage Tower on them, rather than keep hitting this bear, since I've already achieved this for myself. Best of luck in getting the form if you haven't gotten it already. I welcome any questions or any corrections, any other insights in the comments down below. And goodbye for now, subscribe for more, like the video.